5 straight wins to start the season. Liverpool looked unstoppable under Arne Slot. Until Crystal Palace exposed the cracks.
In the same position, we all sat here and said, what a great summer in terms of recruitment. That's an unbelievable... And yeah, on the face of it, signed good players, individually signed good players. But his big problem, the same as Ancelotti, was how do you get the balance of the team right? And at the moment, he's struggling big time to get that done. I mean, they're playing Chelsea at the weekend on Saturday. And could we sit here and say what we think his team's going to be? I mean, is Bradley going to play? Is Frimpong going to play? Is Wirtz going to play in 10? Or is he going to play left? Or is he going to bring Szoboszlai back into midfield? Nobody knows.
No idea.
We have no idea at the moment. And last year, you could have shut your eyes and picked Arne Slot's team at this stage of the season.
Here's what the narrative misses. 5 of those wins came with goals after the 90th minute this season alone. 46 stoppage-time goals in the Premier League era, more than any club in history.
Chiesa, Salah, lovely dummy, Moa! Boy wonder strikes for Liverpool to earn them 3
The reigning
points.
champions survive on late drama because their structure depends on it. And at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea aren't favorites. They're underdogs with mental fragility and leadership voids. But this is exactly when Chelsea become dangerous. Munich 2012, Porto 2021, MetLife Stadium 2025 against PSG, never the favorite, always the champion. Liverpool's luck is about to meet Chelsea's history. The table tells one story, the tape tells another. Liverpool won the Premier League last season and started this one perfectly, until you notice how many of those wins required stoppage-time heroics. 5 this season. Brentford, Newcastle, Burnley, Atletico, Arsenal, all decided after 90 minutes. Chelsea's struggles are different, not tactics. Leadership, mental collapse, red cards born from immaturity. But when Chelsea are written off, when pressure mounts, when they're supposed to fold, that's when the underdog aura ignites. This analysis breaks down how Chelsea can overcome their limitations, exploit Liverpool's vulnerabilities, and why Stamford Bridge might be where champions meet giant killers. Arne Slot walked into Anfield in June 2024 facing the impossible, replace Jurgen Klopp without breaking the machine. He didn't just survive, he delivered a Premier League title in his first season. The transition looked seamless. Slot kept Liverpool's attacking identity while adding tactical flexibility that made them harder to read. This season began with 5 straight wins. The metrics were pristine: possession dominance, high press efficiency, goals from multiple sources. Liverpool looked like champions defending their crown. Then came Selhurst Park.
Salah's Park erupts. Dean Henderson's run the length of the pitch to celebrate in front of the home crowd.
Crystal Palace dismantled them with discipline and structure. Suddenly questions emerged.
You know, Bradley's not done well when he's played at right back. Frimpong struggled at right back. You've ended up with Szoboszlai at right back. Kerkez has had a shocker since he's come in, quite honestly. He's been bang average. Konate has been really, I mean, he just looks devoid of any confidence.
Were Liverpool as complete as the results suggested, or were they riding momentum and individual brilliance? The answers matter, because Chelsea arrive at Stamford Bridge asking those same questions. Chelsea's season reads like a cautionary tale about potential without maturity. The quality is obvious. Enzo and Caicedo in midfield, Estêvão and Neto providing pace and creativity, a defensive structure under Maresca that looks organized when executed properly. But quality doesn't win matches when composure crumbles. Red cards that shouldn't happen, concentration lapses in crucial moments, games controlled for 70 minutes, then thrown away by individual errors. It's not about tactics or ability, it's about leadership and mental strength under pressure. Young players learning how to close out matches when everyone's watching. The frustration is real because the talent is undeniable. What's missing is the psychological edge that separates good teams from great ones. Can they find it against the reigning champions? Liverpool's philosophy under Slot is high-intensity attacking football. Quick transitions, relentless pressing, attacking width. It won them the league. But those 46 stoppage-time goals in the Premier League era aren't just records, they're symptoms. 5 wins this season decided after 90 minutes. Salah's been directly involved in 6 of the last 9 goals past 90 minutes across competitions. Van Dijk keeps delivering crucial headers. It's effective, but reactive. When you control games without killing them, when you dominate possession without securing defensive transitions, you're vulnerable to opponents who stay disciplined and exploit moments when your structure stretches thin.
A team that has plenty of possession, but going forward, has plenty of players forward, but there's no cohesion. There's no fluidity in it. There's no real open chances created either. When they cough the ball up, as they've been doing, there seems to be a big hole in the middle of the park that stops anybody and everybody getting at the back line. And again, you saw today, Konate being the culprit once again, but everybody else around them, including Van Dijk, just doesn't look comfortable when teams are going at them.
Chelsea proved they can do exactly that against PSG at MetLife Stadium. Remain compact, stay patient, strike when favorites overcommit. Maresca's Chelsea are built on tactical clarity, asymmetric fullback roles, intelligent pressing triggers, midfield partnerships for ball retention and transition control. When they execute, they look elite. The problem is mentality. Young players learning to manage 90 minutes without errors derailing collective work. But the Club World Cup final showed what happens when Chelsea get it right. PSG pressed high, dominated possession patches, looked every bit the favorite. Chelsea stayed compact, absorbed pressure, and when Maresca's adjustments kicked in, they dismantled Luis Enrique's side 3-0. That's the blueprint. Not as favorites, as underdogs with everything to prove. And frankly, if they replicate that performance, Liverpool will struggle to cope. Bradley and Kerkez are talented, but inexperienced and frequently overloaded. Liverpool's system asks them to push high and provide width. When transitions flip, they're caught upfield with a midfield that doesn't cover quickly enough. Gravenberch and Szoboszlai offer creativity but lack defensive instinct when opponents break with pace. Wirtz has been particularly poor, criticized heavily by fans, starting only because of his price tag rather than performance.
This is a huge concern. The other concern I would have is, apart from the defending, the coughing the ball up, the playing in the wrong areas, all those sort of things that they're doing, the Florian Wirtz situation, which is ongoing. I know he's very early and he's a great player. But it seems that Arne Slot is square pegging into round holes here to try and figure things out.
He's shown little creativity and offers minimal defensive contribution. Salah doesn't consistently track back, leaving Bradley isolated. Kerkez faces similar problems. Chelsea had the pace to exploit those channels. Neto facing Bradley or Frimpong on the left, Estevao against Kerkez on the right. Both are capable of winning foot races and making decisions in space. One accurate long ball, one quick turnover, and Liverpool's high line becomes a liability. Chelsea don't rely on aerial dominance. They exploit speed and individual quality in wide areas. Estêvão and Neto thrive in 1v1 situations where their pace and creativity can isolate defenders. Against Bayern Munich, even in defeat, Chelsea's most positive moment came from their right side. Gusto pushed high, created numerical advantages, and left Bayern's defense confused. The same can happen to Liverpool. Kerkez will face Estevao's directness and acceleration. Bradley or Frimpong will deal with Neto's unpredictability. When fullbacks are isolated without midfield support, Chelsea's wide players become lethal. It's not about crosses into the box, it's about creating space, drawing defenders out of position, and exploiting gaps when Liverpool's structure is caught between pressing high and covering deep. If Chelsea get this right, Liverpool's fullbacks will have a long afternoon. Mohamed Salah is Liverpool's most dangerous weapon. When he drifts inside from the right, defenses collapse. But Cucurella isn't a traditional fullback. He's a defensive specialist who excels at denying space and isolating attackers. We saw this in Chelsea's Champions League match against Benfica, where Cucurella completely neutralized Lukebakio. The winger didn't breathe for 90 minutes. Cucurella stayed tight, denied central access, and forced him into ineffective wide areas. The blueprint against Salah is identical. Keep Cucurella positioned deeper, deny room to cut inside, force him wide where his left foot becomes less threatening. It's about controlling engagement terms. If Cucurella limits Salah's influence for 70 minutes, Liverpool's entire attacking rhythm shifts. Gakpo has to create more. Isak drops deeper. Patterns break. That opens space elsewhere. And honestly, Cucurella's recent form suggests he's more than capable of pulling this off. Chelsea's asymmetric setup becomes crucial. While Cucurella stays deeper to handle Salah, Gusto, or James if selected, pushes high on the right, forming a dynamic overload with Estevao. Against Bayern Munich, this was Chelsea's brightest moment. Despite the loss, Gusto climbed high, created numerical advantages, and left Bayern's defense confused. The same can happen to Liverpool. Enzo Fernandez and Enzo-Caicedo have developed into one of the Premier League's most complete midfield partnerships. Enzo dictates tempo and finds progressive passes between lines. Caicedo recovers balls, covers transitions, and provides physical presence. Together, they can disrupt Liverpool's creative outlets. Gravenberch needs space to carry forward. Szoboszlai thrives on quick combinations. Wirtz, when he's actually contributing, operates in pockets between defense and midfield. All depend on time and space. Enzo and Caicedo can deny both by pressing intelligently, covering passing lanes, and forcing Liverpool into wider, less dangerous areas. The Club World Cup final against PSG at MetLife Stadium showed exactly this. Chelsea's midfield controlled transitions, one-second balls, and prevented creative players from settling. When that happens, late-goal magic disappears because chances never materialize. Liverpool's late-goal magic requires opportunities. Chelsea's job is making sure those opportunities never arrive. And based on what we've seen, they absolutely have the tools to do it. Chelsea have the pieces to trouble Liverpool, but execution requires mental fortitude the squad hasn't consistently shown. Some of those struggles might not be Maresca's fault. I broke down the tactical issues he can't control in another video. And if Chelsea are serious about competing long-term, there's an elite goalkeeper available in January they need to move for now. Both videos are on screen. Stamford Bridge, reigning champions, underdogs with everything to prove. This is where Chelsea's season either ignites or fades into mediocrity. The tools are there. The blueprint is clear. Now it's about mentality, execution, and whether this young squad can finally deliver when it matters most. My prediction, Chelsea 2-1 Liverpool. See you after the match.